unbeaten in 26 consecutive EPL matches, 19 wins and 7 draws for Liverpool. And here is the run-up to what seems like a coronation right now for the title.
Yeah, not too bad in terms of their run-in. It's just a case now, I think, of when they do it, and not the case of if. And showing once again their fighting spirit, Liverpool. They haven't always produced their most vintage football in recent weeks. They have stumbled a little bit, not been quite as convincing. But when they need to, when their back's against the wall, they are invariably able to produce the result. And it was just one moment of magic in front of goal from Diego Jota that they needed.
At the outset of this season, if you said this is where Liverpool would be in the Premier League table, I think every Liverpool fan would have said tremendous success. But because they got out to that big lead and because they played so well in the group stages of Champions League, you started to daydream of more. So all of a sudden for the past week, we've had this kind of silly talk about whether or not this has been a disappointment from Liverpool. But this side right here, the way they have taken the Premier League with both hands really is impressive, is it not?
Well, and also they, very impressive, and I think also being able to deal with what's thrown in front of them. Alisson, we heard in the pre-match of this game, failing the concussion test, so he wasn't in goal. Kelleher stepping up, managed to keep a clean sheet. Trent Alexander-Arnold not available as well, so Curtis Jones stepping in for him. So even when they've been forced to change things up, Liverpool have managed to come out on top. It has been such an impressive season. And I think if you'd have offered, you were saying, offered the fans prior to the season started this position, they would have taken it. And I do think the priority for Arne Slot and his players will be winning the Premier League. I think that was the priority for them. It was a case of we have to try and win the Premier League title. Yes, it would have been nice to win the double or the treble. But I think of all of the 4 competitions together, it was the Premier League that they wanted to win, and it looks like they're going to do that. So that's a big box ticked.
Yeah, everybody thought it was Manchester City and Arsenal's race going into the season. Liverpool just jumped right in and said, wait a second, didn't make a lot of moves in the offseason other than the coach. I mean, how much credit does he deserve?
Oh, so much credit. And they also be able to navigate the waters of the contract situations of those 3 key players in Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. To be able to have produced this kind of season and to have put that conversation to one side and still come out with the performances that they have been. I mean, 73 points, 22 victories, 7 draws, just the 1 defeat on the season in the Premier League is unbelievable numbers. It took an unbelievable performance from PSG to get through in the Champions League. I think the frustration of those competitions will obviously have been losing to Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup, and then it was a good performance from Newcastle in the final, and Liverpool were the favourites to win that. But it has been such a successful season, particularly with the noise around the club, with those the contract situations, particularly of Salah, to have been able to put the performances that they have done over a consistent basis in the Premier League is incredible, and a real hats off moment to Arne Slot for what he's done this season in his first season in charge.
And let's be honest about it. That noise wasn't all from the outside. Players like Mo Salah seem to be amplifying that noise through part of the season. And I do think what you say about Arne Slot is good. I mean, you've got to find a way to motivate your players. You've got to find a way to keep them on the same page. But at the same time, it's possible that's extra motivation. I mean, people have questioned whether or not Liverpool should have put contracts in front of these players that they would have wanted to sign earlier. They've kind of held back. So let's see how this thing goes. You think maybe that's been extra motivation for those players to have the type of seasons that they have, or am I a little off the mark?
No, I agree with that. I think also it drew the spotlight away from some of the other players as well, because all the talk was about, oh, is Mo Salah going to sign a new contract? Are they going to offer him a new contract? Same with Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold. That really the rest of the players were able to get on with it, and they weren't making too many headlines because that was all anyone was talking about with regards to Liverpool, and it looks like it will continue to be so over the next few weeks until the end of the season. I did want to mention that challenge from James Tarkowski, though. Have another look at that. What did you think about it? I mean, you've obviously watched the beautiful game for a long, long time. Premier League fan. For me, when I saw it, and especially even the couple of replays that we saw, that this was fair enough. This is what the Premier League Match Centre came out with on X afterwards. This was actually in the game, which we don't see too often. The referee's call of a yellow card for a reckless foul by Tarkovski was checked by the VAR with contact on the follow-through after Tarkovski had played the ball deemed to be reckless. My question is, surely it was either a red card, because it was really reckless and we saw that, or it wasn't. I mean, for me, it wasn't anything because it was just a good challenge. He got the ball, and if the player's in the way, then that's his fault. But I'm surprised that they gave a yellow, to be honest.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're trying to play it both ways by doing that. We were having a pretty good conversation as a group, and people saw it different ways.
I mean, 20 years ago, everyone would have been said good challenge and applause. I mean, that was the kind of thing you saw in football in every game.
I did not see it to be reckless. I saw it to be a convincing clearance. And to me, it was a natural follow-through. Now, trying to get inside the mind of a player, I guess that's always a difficult category, because some people that we were watching with said that was an unnecessary follow-through, and that's why he catches Mac Allister in the middle of the leg. When you see the studs go into the middle of a player's leg and his leg buckle like that, it does send chills down your spine a little bit. And those are the type of tackles, if it is a bad tackle, that is a straight red card. He got the ball. To me, and maybe this is asking too much, if you're Mac Allister, you're putting your leg in a dangerous position. You're the second one to the ball there. You're putting yourself in a bad spot. I don't think it's fair to expect a player who's coming flying in to clear a ball away to somehow magically be able to stop the momentum of his foot swinging through. I'm with you. I don't think it should have even been a yellow card. I think that if anything, it was a little naivety or just, Mac Allister being late to the ball in that situation. But apparently we have a little bit of a disagreement there.
Yeah, I will be interested to see if we get some clarification as to why it was deemed to be reckless enough for a yellow card, but not reckless enough for a red card. I agree with you. I'm surprised that they gave a card at all. Because for me, in the rules of the game, it's not the responsibility of the player who's making the challenge to what happens afterwards, as long as they win the ball. If he'd missed the ball, or if Mac Allister had got there a bit earlier, then clearly, you can't go in like that. And the fact that he had studs up means sending off straight away. But if you win the ball, in my mind, if you win the ball like that, you can't be sent off or even carded.
I mean, there's always nuance, I guess, because there are some times when I'll see a guy go through a tackle and win the ball and catch the man at the same, in the follow through. But that's a player who's on the ball. This is a situation where Mac Allister's coming to the ball. He gets there first and then catches him. I'm with you again on it. In the end of the day, he gets a yellow card. Good thing that Mac Allister's not hurt. Because to be perfectly honest with you, I was a little surprised it didn't become a red card just because of what you mentioned earlier about how much the game has changed. And now the things that get deemed a red card sometimes make me scratch my head.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what Christina Uncle thinks about this, because she has said in the past, with relation to other challenges like this, that what happens in the aftermath shouldn't be used as a reason to make a decision. So him going in high on Mac Allister, I think we had one earlier on in the season concerning AC Milan, where it was a challenge where the way that the player went down after that made you think, oh, well, that's got to be a card because look how injured he is. But actually, that's not what's relevant, to the challenge at the time. It's not what happens in the aftermath.
Right. Yeah. Injuries can happen on clean tackles sometimes. That's certainly the case. One thought about the Toffees. They had a chance. They had a chance to get a goal in this game that would have made a difference, but they let it go. Liverpool get all 3 points.